go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie, and today I have some really fun Christmas in July DIYs for you using supplies from the Dollar Tree. So let's get started. The first DIY, I wanted to make a pair of Santa's flip-flops. So I wanted to try to use some summer items that you'd be able to find now in your Dollar Tree. And I picked up 2 of the flip-flop signs. They're kind of really big flip-flop signs, and they're actually just going one direction, so one I'll have to have upside down. So I'm just going to take the tag off this one, that way I can have a pair of flip-flops for Santa, and I thought it'd be really fun to try to decorate them like I would think Santa's flip-flops would look. So I have a couple of stockings that I have in my gnome stash, because I always try to stock up on these every Christmas at Dollar Tree because they work great for gnomes. One of them is actually a gnome stocking. Those work really good for making gnomes year round. And this one's got like a fur on it, but basically all I'm looking for is the back. So if you cut all the way over to the sides of a stocking from the Dollar Tree, you're going to have enough fabric to cover a flip-flop. So I grabbed 2 of the stockings from my gnome stash, and I'm just going to cut all of the back off. It's not like a really plush red fabric, but I think it will work. If you didn't have any of this, any kind of red fabric is really going to, I think, give you about the same effect. You might have trouble finding paper big enough to cover these because they are pretty large, but as you can see, it just covers the flip-flops. So I wanted to make like red plush flip-flops for Santa with like white fur like straps. I thought that would really remind me of Santa Claus. So I'm just going to use a Sharpie, and I'm just going to draw on my stocking so I'll know exactly where to cut it out. As you can see, you really have to get all of that fabric off the back of the stocking because there really isn't like a lot that I'm cutting off here. So once I draw that on there, I can just go in with my scissors and cut this out. One side is going to be covering, the back of the flip-flop. The other side's going to be covering the glitter stuff. And as you can see, I've already got glitter on this because, the Dollar Tree glitter stuff, like, gets kind of everywhere. Now, I was thinking I could just glue that on and it would probably be okay, but I wasn't so sure because that's, like, really bright and busy behind it. And I thought you might be able to see some of that pattern come through, and it might like kind of run it in the final project when I have it all Mod Podged on. So I thought I probably should try to mask that first. So I'm just going to go in with just some ivory paint, and I'm kind of just doing a rough coverage of all the stuff that's going on here on the front of that. I'm not really going to worry about the glitter and stuff on the sides. I think that will be fine, but I just didn't want any of that image like shining through. So the other one will be even easier because we're just going to cover the back of this one. And so I put that side down and draw this one out just like I did before. And we have a more fabric for our flip-flop. I thought it would be really cool just to do like a pair of Santa's flip-flops, make it into like a simple little beach sign. I love decorating coastal for Christmas. You guys know I always do. So I wanted these projects to be projects that I can also use at Christmas time, but I can also use them for Christmas in July decorations. You'll have to let me know in the comments below if you actually celebrate Christmas in July or if you just like getting Christmas ideas early. I can say that I never really did Christmas in July until last year. I kind of learned about it a little bit. I put out a video. So I'm kind of going for it this July. Why not? I love having a holiday to decorate for. So now it's just a matter of attaching my stockings to the flip-flop sign. So I'm going to do a pretty thick layer of Mod Podge here all over my flip-flop. And then just sit that fabric right on top. The great thing is that stocking material is like a felt, so it cuts really easily. You're not going to have any fraying or anything like that. So it just helps the DIY go a lot smoother. So that's our first one. I have my paint dry on this one so I can go in, Mod Podge all over the top of this one, and glue this one on as well. Now we're going to use those same stockings that we used to cover the flip-flops for the white fur for the straps of the flip-flops. I thought I could take that little gnome beard and kind of transform that because I didn't have like any stockings that had like the white fluff on the top or any like Santa hats or anything like that to get the white fluff from. So I thought we could just use this beard. Now the beard is hot glued down kind of all the way around. And if you're careful with a heat gun, you can get it off pretty well. I mean, if you didn't want to remove it first, you could probably still try to make this work. But I think it's going to be easier to cut the strips down if I just completely remove this off of the stocking first. As you can see, there's like maybe 2 rows of hot glue gluing this down. And you kind of have to be careful using heat on this because that like fabric that the stocking's made out of will probably melt. So this is what I have, and I'm just going to kind of take advantage of the shape of it. I think both outside edges here are going to make great straps if I can cut it right down the middle and then just cut a little strip off each side like that. And I think that's going to work. I think I made one a little bit thicker than the other one, so I'm going to kind of trim that one up to make those even. And that can be the long part of my flip-flop. And the flip-flop sign kind of has a little bump out there, so you know exactly where like the straps of the flip-flop should go. So I think that's going to work great for the longer part. So now what I'm left with is a smaller piece, but I can kind of do the same thing with this one because the inside strap is going to be a little bit shorter. So I just cut off the outside again like that. And we have the like shorter inside straps. Now, there was a little bit of area that didn't have fluff on it, so I do kind of trim these as I attach them. But I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue to attach my little strap to the side. And the same thing here at the top. These were so fun to put together. It's so easy, but I think it made a really fun, large Christmas project. And I can't wait to display these for Christmas and July. And I'm sure I'm going to display them for Christmas too because they turned out so cute. So I just glue this strap down with hot glue too, kind of slightly overlapping that at the end. Try not to get too much hot glue outside the area that I'm working there. Trying to clean that up a little bit. And you could kind of, you know, hang these like individually. I'm going to put them together on a sign to kind of make it just one project that I can hang on my wall. And I was thinking like flip-flops like on a boardwalk would be really kind of remind me of Christmas at the beach. And so that's what we're going to do with this one. So it's just a matter of attaching the straps here. I kind of like make them look like real flip-flops where they're is a little bit excess material. They're kind of arched up a little bit before I just glue the ends in place. Like where Santa could really slip his feet in there maybe. Santa must have really big feet because these are big. Now for this sign, I'm just going to use 2 of like the wood grain long signs. Doesn't matter which ones you have. These are from 4th of July. But doesn't matter because I'm going to cut the cutout part off anyway. I just want 2 boards and I needed them to be fairly large because my flip-flops are so big. So I took those to my saw and I just cut the cutout part off. And I have 2 boards that remind me of a boardwalk. So together, I mean, they're not big enough, but I can leave a gap in between like a boardwalk would be anyway. And then just attach my flip-flops like that. So I think that's going to work. I'm just going to leave them that like raw wood color. I mean, that's what a boardwalk would look like at the beach anyway. So one step saved. I'm going to just attach them with hot glue here at the top and the bottom. Now this is going to secure the 2 bottom boards together, but I will reinforce those a little bit to make this a little bit stronger. But for now, that's going to kind of join the project together. So I'm attaching these to that board, but these are actually helping to brace the 2 boards together too. And then we're going to do the same thing here with flip-flop number 2. And then I'm just going to use popsicle sticks to reinforce this on the back just to make it a little bit stronger. And I'm just going to do it behind the flip-flop so you won't be able to see this from the front. It won't be visible. Kind of like a little hidden extra support. And I just use hot glue to attach all 4 of those. Now I was trying to think about how I could hang it. It does have 2 hanger holes at the top of the flip-flops. So I thought I would take advantage of that. So I'm going to use some Dollar Tree twine. And since I'm going through fabric and stuff, I thought it might be easier to use like a large needle. And so that's what I'm going to do, and tie a knot in the twine and kind of pull it through. The holes were kind of large, so I did knot it a couple times to try to make sure that it is wide enough that it won't slip through. Now, I'm not sure why I knotted them in the back like this. It hung okay, but it did not hang fantastic. And so after I got that on there, I decided to kind of switch that out. But this is what it looks like for right now. Isn't it cute? A big pair of Santa flip-flops for Christmas in July. Love it. And this is where I was like, you know, I don't know why I did it like that. So I'm just going to cut it, knot it, pull it through, and kind of come back the other direction because I know better. Whenever I knot things in the front, it always turns out so much better, like hanging against my wall with these thin signs. So I just pull it through and knot it again, and problem solved. And here is our giant pair of Santa flip-flops. I thought about adding some words or a sign to it, but I really kind of like the simplicity of them. I think they turned out really cute. And they look just like something that Santa Claus would wear at the beach. We have a lot of people that live around here that kind of look like Santa Claus sometimes. It makes me wonder. And here is a view from a little bit further away. Now, our next DIY, I wanted to try to use one of these little summer surfboards, and we can make a fun little Santa sign with a surfboard. So I thought surfboard would be great for a Christmas in July, and it'd be great for coastal decor. I do want to cover it with some scrapbook paper, and I was able to find this great glitter scrapbook paper at Dollar Tree, and it is large enough to cover this entire surfboard, so that's a win-win. So I just lay it on the back and use the structure of the surfboard and an ink pen to draw that on there, and I think this blue glitter is going to look really pretty on there. It's not like a tacky glitter. It's kind of real subtle, and I think it's going to look really pretty with my coastal decor. The other colors in there was a green one in there that would work too if you didn't want to do blue for your Christmas in July. And so now it's just a matter of attaching it. It's kind of a thick paper, so I think it's going to be fine just to go over like the glitter words and stuff that's on there. I don't think you'll be able to tell in the final project, so I just do a nice coat of Mod Podge all over the front of it, and then just lay our little glitter cardstock right here on top. And we have a little blue glitter surfboard. Then I wanted to add words to mine to kind of make it a cute little Santa Claus sign. So I went to my Cricut and I cut out some words to put on this sign, and I will share all of my Cricut files below if you want to recreate. The vinyl that I use is this matte white vinyl. I get this on Amazon. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I love it. And I've been using it all of the time. So what I have it say is "Gone to the beach, love Santa." So this would be a really fun little sign to hang for decoration for Christmas in July or coastal Christmas. And I'm just going to weed out all of my letters. I even did like a little Santa hat on here just for fun right after the word Santa. And then to transfer that to our glitter paper, I just use my paper transfer paper. I get that on Amazon as well. Both of those things are available in my Amazon shop. I highly recommend both the vinyl and the transfer paper. And I am just going to transfer this over to our little glitter surfboard. I did notice my edges were not stuck great, so I'm going to put a little bit more Mod Podge down there, any area that was starting to come up, to secure that down. and then just add my vinyl to it. You can kind of see through the paper enough to get it lined up correctly. And I'm just going to scrape that on with my scraper. And I was really kind of impressed with how well the vinyl stuck to the glitter paper. It was pretty easy to peel this off. Now, I think it's really cute like this. I am going to add a few more touches to it, though. I thought it needed some pops of red. So for the hanger, I'm going to use that red and white baker's twine from the Dollar Tree. I'm just using a little Cricut weeder to poke holes back in. And this time I'm going to be smart and I'm going to feed it in and tie it off at the top. That way it will hang easily. With a sign like this, I kind of like to do this method a little bit here, rather than knot it in the front, just because that twine is so thin. So I'm going to pull that around and do the same thing here on the other side. And just tie it above the sign. It gives a tiny pop of red with that baker's twine. And then I have a little bit of room left on each side of the sign, so I thought we would add a few more touches. I have one of those little life rings or life buoys from the fairy garden section at Dollar Tree. It's red and white, and I thought that would be a nice little touch over on one side of the surfboard. And then I also had some of these little gnome Christmas ornaments from Dollar Tree also in my gnome stash. And so I'm just going to use one of those, I think, on the other side. They're nice and small. They look like Santa Claus, so I think that is going to work really well. I picked these up, I think, last year for Christmas, and I've never used them on anything, but they're super cute. So I'm just going to glue my little gnome ornament over here and my little fairy garden life buoy to the other side. The nose on this one kind of looked like it was starting to come off a little bit, so I'm going to glue that down too. And this little surfboard sign was so easy to put together, and I think it's so cute for Christmas in July. I was trying to use a lot of summer items today, things that you might be able to find, like the flip-flop signs, like the surfboard sign and stuff like that. And here it is, our little Gone to the Beach surfboard. I think it's so fun. And it was so easy to put together, just using a little Cricut vinyl, some glitter cardstock from Dollar Tree, and a little surfboard sign. I like the little red and white touches. I think that definitely adds a little Christmas to it. I love to use blue for decorating with my Christmas decor, though. I think it looks so fun and coastal. Okay, the next DIY, I thought I picked up some of these little children shapes this is like the teacher section, I guess, at Dollar Tree. And I thought we could try to make those look like gingerbread men. And then I picked up like one of these like giant plastic trays they have this summer. And I thought we could do something really fun on this. It's a nice blue color, so it reminded me of the pool. So I was thinking that we could have like gingerbread men floating in the pool, like baking in the sun instead of baking in the oven. But I wanted something to kind of make floaties with, and so I'm going to use a Dollar Tree placemat. I thought it would be a nice pop of red. And the texture is kind of cool on these. I think it kind of makes it look like it could be like a floaty. It could kind of also look like a towel. If you wanted to do like a sandy background, you could do the same thing with a material that would look like towels behind them. But I picked out two of the little children shapes. They're shaped really similar to a gingerbread man, but their legs are a little bit longer than I would necessarily think a gingerbread man would be. So we'll modify them a little bit. So I'm just going to cut this down. Each one of the little floaties is going to be a little bit different, but they're also going to be kind of coordinated because they kind of have that like large white stripe across the top. And then we can like lay a little gingerbread man on top of each one. I kind of wanted to do a his and a hers. And so I'm just going to cut off the feet and part of the legs on these just to kind of make them look more like a gingerbread man and less like a child. So I'm going to do that on both of them. And the pack had like lots of different colors in them. This color kind of reminded me more of a gingerbread man. And so that is the one that we're going to use for this. Now they kind of have a glossy side. They kind of have more of a matte side. At first I was going to use the glossy side up like that, but I ended up changing it and using the other side, which was a little bit more, not quite so shiny. So I kind of want to angle them like that, like two floaties floating in the pool. So this is going to be my surface, this giant blue tray. I was really impressed with the size on this. Now it looks really plasticky because, you know, it's plastic. So I'm also going to need Mod Podge to attach to the floaties. So what I'm going to do is just start by going over the entire top of the tray with matte Mod Podge from Dollar Tree. It's going to take that shininess away from the plastic, make it look a little bit more high end. But I'm also going to need all that Mod Podge on there so I can start securing the floaties. I have lots of things that I need to kind of glue down on this. And so this is kind of my first layer of glue. So I'm going to grab one of my floaties and kind of push that down in there. Mine were not the flattest, but we're going to make this work. And as long as I can get it into contact with the Mod Podge, we can kind of make that like lay down. Now, I do like smooth them out. I didn't think I got quite enough Mod Podge on there to make them lay completely flat and be completely secure. So once I get them on there, I'm just going to add a little bit more Mod Podge under them if I feel like it needs it. But then I'm just going to start going over the top of it with more Mod Podge and kind of like pushing that down in the fabric to help secure that down. You know, it looks kind of white when you're doing it and you're thinking, oh, I don't know how this is going to dry. But I let mine dry overnight and it turned out completely clear. So just put Mod Podge, you know, everywhere where you kind of need it to secure that down. And again, I wanted to do pool, so that's why I'm kind of doing floaties, but these kind of look like beach towels too. So if you wanted to do like a background that was tan and sand, you could do the same thing with gingerbread men like laying out on the beach, or you could do it like I did and have them laying in the pool. So as you can see, I did have to, I dried them and then I went in and added more Mod Podge if necessary to get those down and secure. So that was probably the hardest thing to attach. Once I got them on there, the project got really easy. So there's my little gingerbread men. I told you like that side was kind of glossy and the other side kind of was a little bit more matte. So I do end up using that side up. Like that is what I'm talking about for our two little gingerbread men. And I'm so glad I thought to use these because I do not want to get all my Christmas decor out. And so I just do Mod Podge on the back of him and lay him down. I'm also going to Mod Podge all over the top of him to help secure him down to the floaty. And I'm going to add like lots of beach fun decor to both of these, but I have to get them down and attached first. So a nice layer of Mod Podge here on the back. Lay him down. Or actually, that's going to be our girl one. And then Mod Podge over the top. So a lot of Mod Podge on this project, but I kind of needed to use Mod Podge because a lot of the things I wasn't really able to use hot glue on. It would kind of, I think, make more of a mess. So I just used my heat gun to help that dry. And once I got it on there, I felt like it wasn't super secure. So I did go over both of them with one more coat of Mod Podge. And everything seemed really well sealed down after this one. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about it coming apart. And as you can see, the shininess on the tray is way better now that we use that matte Mod Podge on it as well. I'm just going to use a white paint pen and do 2 dots for each eye. A gingerbread face is so easy because it's just 2 dots for the eye and then like a little grin. So I'm just going to draw a little smile on here for her and for him. And then whenever I do my gingerbread men, I always like to do like the icing on the wrists and ankles. So I'm going to add those little details on here as well to kind of just make them look like gingerbread men a little bit more. And it's just like little squiggly up and down, super easy to do. Now that I've made them look like gingerbread man, I want to decorate them for a day at the pool. So I thought they needed swimsuits. So I'm going to use some of these felt sheets. I got this particular one at Easter, but they seem to be having a lot of felt now. I kind of wanted to try to match the color of the tray. And this one is like that same beautiful color with like white polka dots. I thought about mixing it up maybe with like this color of blue for a little bit of contrast, but I really kind of liked that like mint green color of this one. So what I'm going to do is just cut down a little rectangle, and we're going to make that into a pair of swim trunks for him. Just super easy. Again, this is made out of felt, so you can just cut it down. You're not going to have any fraying or anything like that. And so I cut it down like a little skinnier around the waist, kind of veering out. I cut a little slit in between to kind of make the shorts, and not really removing any fabric down there, just enough to have a little gap between the bottom of the shorts. And I think those look about the right size. I don't want to use hot glue again because I don't want that soaking through my felt and being visible in the final project. So I coat the bottom of them with more Mod Podge. I also coat my gingerbread man with some Mod Podge and lay that down and let that dry. Then we can start working on her swimsuit. So I thought we would make the little gingerbread girl a bikini. I thought that'd be cute for her day at the pool. So I just cut a smaller rectangle down, and then just using her as reference, I kind of keep going back and forth and cutting out little swimsuit bottoms for her. They don't need to be quite as big as his trunk, so I kind of trim them down to size. And then I just need to cut like 2 triangles for the top of her bikini. So that looks like that's going to be about right for height. And so once I get one cut down, I just use that for reference and cut out a second one. I just cut off a little bit for her the sides that can kind of go around her a little bit and make that fit a little bit better. And then we're going to Mod Podge on her little bikini bottom here. And I try not to Mod Podge on top of the felt if I can help it. I kind of really want that to dry as clear as possible. I'm trimming down the sides of her bikini to make them look like they fit her a little bit better. And then I'm not going to use any straps or anything, just the little triangles for the top of her bikini. And I just coat the back of them each with some Mod Podge and lay them on her. Are they looking like they're ready for the pool yet? Super cute, and I love the idea of gingerbread cookies laying out and getting all toasty here in the sand. I think it totally fits them. Now, to kind of go with like the pool theme, I thought rope would be good to kind of finish off the edges of the tray, add a little bit more decor. So this is the thinner white rope from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna kind of frame out the entire tray. I plan to display this tray just like by leaning it up against something, sitting it on something. And so I'm not gonna have a hanger or anything like that. It's just gonna be kind of a standing decor tray. And I just use that same piece of white rope, and I just do a bead of hot glue right there in the corner, pushing our rope in. And I think that looks really nice. I think it looks really coastal. I think it kind of goes with the pool theme as well. And just securing my fourth and final side there. Now, I thought it needed like something like a pool like toy or something like that. And I couldn't really find anything I had. So I'm going to use one of these little Dollar Tree puzzles. And basically, I just need a circle. I want to try to see if I can paint that to make it look like a beach ball, because I wanted something flat that could kind of be floating in the pool. But I need to kind of draw on the structure of a beach ball. So I'm just using an ink pen. I probably should have used a pencil because I did have to work to cover up the ink pen. But basically, you're going to have like 3 white triangles and 3 color triangles with like a little circle, like kind of connecting them all together. So I kind of needed that for reference. Now, 3 of the triangles are going to be white. So I go in with my white paint pen and start coloring those in. One of the colors of a traditional beach ball is yellow. So that works. I won't have to paint that section. Then one section is blue. I did have to use a couple coats to get the good blue coverage over the yellow without it looking green. And then one section is red. Now, I like that I used the yellow because it was easier for the blue and the red, but I did have to go over it with several coats of white to cover up the yellow. And that little circle in the middle, I also do in white. So I just keep doing coats on this until I get good coverage with my paint pen. But otherwise, it was really easy to make this little beach ball. Once I get good coverage on my white, I do kind of want to outline it a little bit too, just to kind of give it a little bit more detail. So I use one of these little fine tip Sharpies. I've been finding a lot of these at Dollar Tree, all different colors. I love them for crafting. And then just drawing the lines on there and drawing the circle on there, just to provide a little bit more detail on my beach ball. And I think it turned out so cute. What do you guys think about that? And we can have a little beach ball like floating in the pool here right in between them. I thought about adding a sign or some words to this, but I really didn't have a lot of extra space once I got them all on there. And I think they kind of speak for themselves. Little gingerbread men floating in the pool, perfect for Christmas in July. And this is how it turned out. Aren't they so cute? It was so easy to put together. And using the little paper child cutouts worked really well for little gingerbread men. And I love the size of that tray. For $1.25, it makes a really large piece of decor that you can use for decoration. And I think kids would really enjoy this as well. It's so cute. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment out of today's video, let you know I have a private Facebook group. I always have it linked in the description below. We would love to see you over there. I would love to see what you're crafting, and you can find out when I post new videos. I also have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and my handle on all of those is Crafty Beach on YouTube. Okay, back to our Christmas in July DIYs. I picked up one of these little felt crabs at Dollar Tree in their summer section, and I have a couple of the long signs in white. It doesn't matter what color they are or which ones they are, because I'm going to cut the little cutout parts on it. I just wanted a sign that's going to be big enough for this crab to make a fun Christmas in July sign. So I took those to my saw and I just cut off the cutouts on these to make 2 long white board signs. The white color on these is not great, so I'm going to have to go in and paint them anyway. That's why I said it doesn't really matter what color you do. I'm going to flip them over though and go ahead and attach them together first. So I'm just going to make like a little palette board sign with these, just using some popsicle sticks. And these Dollar Tree thin signs can be kind of bowed. This one isn't quite really. Just trying not to burn myself there with the hot glue. Crisis averted. And I'm just adding hot glue to the top and the bottom of each popsicle stick and bracing them on here. Better too many than not enough. So I'm just going to kind of do a total of 7, it looks like. Just kind of spacing those out on the back. And it gives me a little palette board sign that we can get started with for this crab DIY. I was looking everywhere for a crab. I thought this would be great. And this crab sign from the Dollar Tree is perfect. It's a summer item that should be readily available and you can recreate. So I just use white acrylic to try to brighten this up. At first I used this white acrylic from Dollar Tree. It's kind of like water. I just do not like their acrylic paint. I don't have a lot of luck, and I found that it was not covering as good as I wanted it to. So I switched up to some regular white acrylic, and just using a chunky brush, I'm just kind of distressing all over until I get a good coverage. That board had like a slight gray tint to it, and I really kind of wanted it to be white and not gray. And I'm also painting the popsicle sticks that you can kind of see from the back. While I'm painting this white, I'm going to be using the back of my crab because I don't really want the glitter and stuff design that's on that. And I wanted to make a fun like Santa Claus sign because, you know, a crab has claws. I thought that'd be really fun. But I just kind of wanted a nice beachy background for this. And I'm not going to make this a hanging sign. I'm going to have it a stand-up sign. But you could totally convert this really easily into a hanging sign if you drilled a couple holes in the top. So again, this is that crab sign. He has a little bit of glitter on him. And you could use that side if you wanted, but I kind of wanted a blank canvas crab, so I'm going to use the back of it like that. So it's, as you can see, it's almost a perfect size with two of those boards together with a little bit of space in between them to house our little crab here. And so I am just going to do a layer of Mod Podge all over the sign that we just made. And nice and thick, because this is kind of a big felt piece that we're trying to attach here. And again, I think the Mod Podge is going to work better than hot glue. I don't want it soaking through my fabric, and it worked just fine. You could probably also use tacky glue from Dollar Tree to attach it. You just want something that's not going to soak through and be like visible from the front of it. I do have a few holes there in the top of the crab from the hanger, and I will disguise those a little later in the project, but basically I just kind of wanted a blank crab like that, so that's one reason I wanted to use the back of it, because I wanted to go in with my Cricut. And again, I'm using matte white vinyl from the Dollar Tree, and I will share this Cricut cut file with you as well if you want to recreate this. And what I have it saying is, here comes Santa Claus, but for Claus, I spelled it C-L-A-W-S for the crab. I thought that would be really cute. I couldn't decide between here comes Sandy Claus or here comes Santa Claus. And I ended up doing Santa, but you could also do here comes Sandy Claus, because that would be funny as well. And I am just gonna weed my vinyl here. And I wasn't so sure. I've never really done vinyl on felt before, but it actually stuck really well. So I think it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna use my paper transfer paper to attach it, just peeling off the back of this vinyl. And then we can just attach that to the front of our crab. So here's our sign. I did cut it down to fit here. And this is one reason why I didn't want like the glitter in the face and stuff on there. I just want the shape of the red crab. And I think this looks so fun for Christmas. I can't wait to display this one. It turned out so cute, and it's nice and large too. So here is me applying the vinyl. You can see how well it stuck. It did a really great job. And such a fun way to make a really large Christmas in July DIY. Now, I probably should have done this before I attached the crab, but I decided I kind of wanted it to look like sand on the bottom board where the crab is standing. And so I'm using kind of like a dark tan and a chunky brush from Dollar Tree. And as you can see, I'm just daubing down a light distress of like that dark tan, so we can kind of simulate a little bit of a sandy bottom to this sign. And I'm glad I did this. It's really kind of an abstract sign, but I just add some ivory to that same color to give me like a lighter tan. And then I go in and do the same thing in all the same areas. And I'm only doing the bottom board sign, but I do like the effect that it gave me. I was just trying to not get any on my red felt. So I could only get so close to it because I was afraid I was going to get some on my felt. That's why it's probably better to do this before you add your crab. But then I go in with white to kind of, you know, blend it, kind of make it look a little bit more like sand. And then I went in with a tiny brush just to get a little closer to all the little crab legs on there with all of those existing colors. Just to kind of make it look like I did not do that as an afterthought, even though I kind of did. But I like that. It gave me a nice sandy bottom, like our little crab is standing in the sand. And so then I thought, sand, you probably need some seashells too. So I'm just going to grab a couple of seashells that I have from the beach and kind of scatter those out on my sign. Just here on the bottom. I think 3 is going to be plenty. Whenever I hot glue these shells, I just try to do like a very light amount around the top rim and then a little at the base because I don't really want any like hot glue visible. I really just need enough to secure it on there. And that kind of works with any kind of shell that you're going to use. So I did like one little shell on each side and then also a little shell here on the bottom. And like I said before, I'm going to make this a standing sign something that I can sit on my shelf. And so to do that, I'm just going to use a little piece of craft wood. I just need something heavy enough to kind of stand it up. And let me show you how I attach this to make a great standing sign. I just use hot glue on the side of the craft wood, and I glue that down. Now I make sure I leave a tiny lip on the bottom of that sign before the little brace, so that way it will slightly lean back a little bit and it will sit properly on my shelf and it won't want to tip over or anything like that. So I'm showing you about how much room I left, just a tiny bit, just enough for it to slightly sit back like that so it will stand securely. And I think this looks really cute. The only thing I still need to do on there is to cover those little holes on the top of my crab, because that kind of bothered me. I kind of wanted to do a little Santa hat for him, but I didn't really have a lot of room there to do that. So I'm just going to use some of that red and white baker's twine and just tie a simple little bow for that. I thought that would work as a decoration, but you know what? It's also going to cover up those pesky holes. So I think that looks good. And I am just going to hot glue that on there onto like the biggest hole here in the center. And that will kind of disguise the other little hole there as well. And it provided a nice little decoration there for the top of our crab. But a little Santa hat on there would be super cute too, if you wanted to try to make one. But I think this DIY turned out so cute. What do you guys think about my little Santa Claus? It's totally coastal, it's totally summer, and it's so much fun. I'm so glad I decided to do like the sandy texture on the bottom. I think that looks really cool. You could even do that on both boards if you wanted to, or you could do the top board instead of white, you could do it like in an ocean blue. That'd be really cute as well. But I think he turned out really cute, and I really liked using the vinyl on the felt because a lot of times they have those felt items at Dollar Tree and you don't really know what to do with them, right? Okay, for the next DIY, I wanted to use some of these rope balls these are from Target. They're the vase filler, but you could totally use the ones from Shore Living at Dollar Tree, but you're gonna have to cut the handle off. Basically, I thought if I put 3 of these little rope balls together, I could make a little rope ball snowman. So I just glued the 2 together, and then I'm gonna glue the third one on, like 3 balls for a snowman, and we can make a fun little coastal beachy snowman. And this is a previous DIY that I had made, but I thought it'd be really great for Christmas in July. So to cover the base of it, I'm just going to use a chunky like circle from Dollar Tree and cover it in some removable wallpaper, also from Dollar Tree. And the print that I am using is my favorite one, that light blue tropical print. So beachy, great for coastal Christmas, great for Christmas in July. And just cover the top of my little chunky circle. Now it's chunky, so it's got the sides on there as well. So once I get a good sanding to make sure that I got the edges cut good, I'm gonna go in and cover the sides with that same vinyl. This time I just need to kind of cut a strip and, you know, kind of wrap it all the way around. And it's going to give me a great base, because otherwise this snowman was going to be like all crazy and wanting to fall over all the time. But I thought if I made a nice strong base like this, that it would help secure it. So my vinyl was not quite long enough, so I'm going to cut one more strip here to finish off the side. And such an easy way to do that. You could always paint it if you wanted. I really like that tropical design though. So I am just going to hot glue my little snowman on here. And again, I did use these rope balls from Target just because they didn't have handles, and they're a little bit smaller than the ones from Dollar Tree, but you could totally recreate with that one as well. Now it's time to decorate our little snowman. I wanted to make a hat, and so I'm going to use this beautiful light blue felt that I picked up. I think I actually got the felt at Walmart, if I'm not mistaken. I really love this color. And I cut a circle for the top of the hat. Then I cut a strip out for the sides. And using hot glue, I'm just going to attach that to the top of my hat. What I want to make for my little snowman is a really cute beachy like little fishing hat. Like it looks like he's wearing that instead of like a traditional like top hat or something like that you might see on a snowman. But I need another strip to go all the way around. So I just start where I started, gluing that to the existing strip. And then I just keep gluing that to the circle. And that's forming like the top part of the hat all the way to the other side. Just going to join those two strips together when I can connect them. And I have part of a little fishing hat, kind of the top part of it. I like to make like little decorative items like this, but I'm not big on sewing. So if I can hot glue, I totally will. Now I'm going to need a bigger circle for the brim of the hat. And so I just cut out a circle that's larger than the hat that we made. And instead of putting it together now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of put it together in two pieces. Just gluing the brim on first, like that. And then a bead of hot glue all around the inside of the top middle of my hat. And then just glue that on. And it's going to give you the appearance of a little bucket fishing hat for our little snowman. It's so cute. Now we need to kind of make it look like a snowman. So I was trying to decide, should I do like some of these little color kind of button stickers from the Dollar Tree for the eyes, if I wanted them to be colorful or not. And then I decided I kind of wanted the eyes to be black. So I'm just going to use some black paint and simply paint those stickers. I love using these. These are a great size for decorating items. And you can always paint them like this if they're not the right color. So I'm going to use hot glue, even though they're stickers, just to make this be a little bit more secure and stay together. And I did one black one for each little eye to make it look like he has some little coal eyes on his little snowman head. And then for the mouth, I'm just using some more felt, this time in black, and I'm cutting out just a tiny little grin. I thought about doing little dots for like dot, 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 but I thought it would be easier just to have one piece for the little smile. And so I just cut out a little black smile to go with those little black eyes that we made. And glue that on to our little snowman head. He turns out so cute. He's one of my favorite Christmas DIYs. Then I decided I was trying to decide, do I want to use that black to go down or if I want to get colorful? And down there I decided to get colorful. So I'm using the light blue ones that kind of coordinate with the base and with his hat for his little buttons on his little second section. Now for little snowman arms, I'm going to use some of this wire jute from Dollar Tree because that way I can shape it kind of like a twig, right? And just have those coming out of the sides. So I just kind of hot glue and then kind of push the wire into the sides of my rope ball and cut out a little arm for that side. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. The great thing is you can kind of push it in between the two pieces of rope, and that's going to help secure it. Then I cut out two smaller pieces and wrap those around the end. It's going to look like little twig, branches, arms. And again, the jute twine is going to go with the beachy feel. I do have trouble when I cut the twine into small pieces like that, keeping the rope in there. You might want to hot glue it together first, but I kind of wanted it to look all kind of crazy like that. So I think that's going to work. I add a little starfish. I get those on Amazon to his hat to give him a little beachy touch. You could always do a small seashell from Dollar Tree as well, which is what I'm going to use to decorate the base. So I thought maybe a little seashell over on the side. And still kind of messing with his little hand. And maybe a few more little tiny seashells to help decorate him. I thought he needed a nose. And one of these little cone shells from the Dollar Tree would be perfect for a little nose because it kind of looks like a carrot, right? And I just glue that onto his face and he looks so cute. The only thing I thought he needed was some kind of a scarf, but I thought maybe something lightweight. So I'm going to use some of this pom-pom trim from Dollar Tree, but I don't really want the pom-poms on there. And so I'll just cut those off and use those on another project. And I just want the little trim piece. I just wanted a little bit of red fabric so I could do like a very lightweight, like summery little scarf to wrap around the neck of my little rope snowman. And I just kind of wrap that around, push part of it towards the back, secure it with a little hot glue so it stays in place. and doesn't fall off. And we have a little rope ball snowman. This is how he turned out. I used those little pom-pom balls to decorate that little bottle brush tree behind him as well. But so fun. I thought this would be a really fun DIY to also include in this Christmas in July video. I love it. I think he's so cute, and Santa approves as well. Okay, the next DIY, I wanted to do a Christmas tree, and a party hat is something that you could find now at Dollar Tree. And so I wanted to show you a fun tropical version of a Christmas tree you could do with supplies you can find now at the Dollar Tree. So I grabbed a party hat, a child luau skirt, and some green cricket vinyl. Now, I like using these party hats for Christmas trees. I also like using the little cutting boards from Dollar Tree as well, the little flexible ones. They make great Christmas trees as well. The first thing I do is I want to take this apart. So I'm just going to slide the tabs out. And I also want to get all that tinsel stuff off there as well. And I kind of want to cover it because it's got like all these polka dots on there and stuff like that. So I open it up, and then I'm just going to cut off the part with the tinsel because it was kind of like a mess the way it was kind of glued on there. And it's not going to make my tree too much shorter, but it's going to get rid of all that tinsel stuff, which is what I wanted to do. And my inspiration for this Christmas tree, this tropical Christmas tree, was like Hawaii. So I kind of want to go with that green grass skirt look, but I don't want you to be able to see all these polka dots behind it. So I picked up some green cricket vinyl from Dollar Tree that matches that green grass skirt. You could also do this DIY with the straw colored grass skirts as well. That would be really cute too. But I'm going to show you a green version. So I'm just going to cut out enough vinyl that I can cover that entire party hat. So I'm just going to kind of peel and stick it. If you couldn't find the cricket vinyl in the right color, you could always paint it as well. Basically, I just don't want anything to show through my grass skirt in the final project. So I'm just going to lay my polka dotted pattern party hat onto the cricket vinyl. You guys know I love crafting with the cricket vinyl from Dollar Tree, but not in my cricket. Do not recommend. And so once I get it stuck on there, I can just cut off the excess vinyl. And we have a little green base here for the Christmas tree. And as you can see, I kind of left the tabs and everything on here so I can kind of put it all back together fairly easily. And so I just kind of cut around all of those tabs as well. And as you can see, it does a really good job of masking all those polka dots. So I'm going to cut my little slits back in here so I can put my little Christmas tree right back together, just by sliding it back into the grooves that were there before. So I definitely want to take advantage because it was already kind of pre-built into the shape of a Christmas tree already. So there's our base for our little Hawaiian Christmas tree. And we went to Hawaii last fall. Part of my inspiration behind this tree, I thought it would be a fun idea. And I got the child-sized grass skirts. It doesn't really matter. I thought this would be better because it's going to be a little bit shorter. So I'm kind of seeing exactly kind of how long I'm going to need for the grass skirt to be to cover my little Christmas tree. And it was still a little bit long, so I cut off part of it so I would know exactly how long I need to cut the rest. So using that as reference, I just cut straight across. I thought it would be easier to cut them now while it's all kind of all folded up and a little bit all more together. So now I'm just going to take apart the plastic that's holding it together. I'm also going to cut off the waistband. I don't really need that. I just kind of want all of the great fringe on there for the grass skirt. Now it's a matter of putting this together. I thought, yeah, I could kind of attach it here at the top and wind it around and have the little grass skirt kind of like fall down on the sides of the tree, giving it that fun like fringe look and kind of making it look like it's made out of a grass skirt. I guess it is. So I hot glue that on the top, and then I just start winding that around. And I was hoping that if I add enough grass skirt, I'm going to get good coverage and you won't be relying too heavily on that green background that I made underneath of it. I just keep wrapping it around all the way around until I run out of grass skirt, securing that with a little bit of hot glue. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to do a quick trim around any pieces that seemed a little bit too long. And just trim them down a little bit so they look a little bit better here. And then I kind of wanted this to be a little bit more secure on the top, so I tie it off with some twine to try to give me that pointy top there. And then kind of double knot that to secure that there at the tip of the cone, the party cone. And that's what it looks like so far with that amount of grass skirt on there. But I do want mine to be fuller, so I am going to use a second grass skirt to make it fuller. And I'm going to use that one piece for reference. I kind of know how long I need it. Trim those up, and then cut the top off of this one as well. And we can wrap that around, and it's going to make the tree a lot fuller with the grass skirt, which is kind of what I thought I would need 2 of them. I just start here where I tied it off with some jute twine and start by hot gluing some on there and just kind of continue wrapping this around. I really want it to look just really full, really grassy, and then we can go through and decorate it with some more Hawaiian touches as well. So I use that entire grass skirt. I keep wrapping around, trying to keep it as skinny as I can up here at the top, because I want to keep that same like Christmas tree shape that the party hat had to begin with. So it's kind of full, but we're going to make it work. So I hot glue this down here. And I have lots of overlap now. You can barely see the green vinyl behind it now. It's nice and thick. This is a great time to kind of trim up any longer pieces. Just kind of by picking it up and cutting underneath where the party cone is. See how thick it is now? I think that's going to work. I'm going to use a little hot glue here at the top to try to like close that up a little bit. Kind of cinch it down where you can't really see inside too much. But I'm also going to make a little tree topper for this to decorate this as well. Now to decorate it, I'm going to use some of these white poinsettas. I thought these looked really tropical, and they would be something that I think should be on a Hawaiian tree. You could also use hibiscus. That would be really cute too. But I didn't want mine to be super colorful. So I just take those off the Dollar Tree stems, and then I thought we would just use these as little ornaments all over the grass skirt. I thought it would totally go with that grass skirt vibe and be really pretty. Kind of like that. So to secure them, I just put a little bit of hot glue on the stem, and I just glue that into my little grass skirt tree. Kind of gluing it to whatever, like the grass skirt or the bottom, wherever I can kind of secure it. And I'm just going to keep going around the tree, kind of alternating those, kind of decorating all over with the poinsettas until I'm happy with it. And that is looking really good. I hope you all had a great 4th of July celebration. It has been so hot here in Florida, but I think it's kind of something that's going on all across the country. I keep hearing from everybody how hot it is. Like we've got heat advisories 2 days in a row, and that's really kind of unusual for us. So this is how it turned out. I think it looks so cute so far. What do you guys think about my little grass skirt Christmas tree? Now, for the topper, I wanted a flamingo. And I had one of these little Dollar Tree signs with a little cutout flamingo. And I thought we could probably make that into a tree topper if we're creative enough. I was kind of going with like a pink and green vibe for this. But he doesn't really need to have like these flamingo legs. I thought he was going to be a little too tall. So I just trimmed those down. with some heavy duty scissors and cut that off so I could have just like a little flamingo for my tree topper. I'm not a big fan of the glitter on there, so I'm just going to use some light pink acrylic just to kind of paint over the glitter, make that look a little bit softer, and make a cute little tree topper. And that way I can do the back as well, with the back was just like a plain brown color on the back of that little flamingo. You could also use the little flamingo like drink stirrers that they have right now in the summer section. That could work as well. I got mine painted all pink. I didn't think it was quite substantial enough to be a tree topper, but I thought if I combined it with a starfish, that'd be really cute. I picked up this adorable starfish for $1 at my antique mall. We have a great booth there that sells lots of shells and stuff like that, but you could always use the starfish from Dollar Tree as well. This was just the right size. So I'm going to hot glue my little pink flamingo right here in the center of my starfish. And I'm going to lay my starfish kind of flat on top of it for a tree topper. And it turned out so cute. And it's a fun little coastal touch. Really cute for Christmas in July or for a coastal Christmas. And I just hot glue my little starfish right to the top. This was so easy to make, this little grass skirt Christmas tree, and I thought it would be another fun Christmas in July project for you to try. Isn't it pretty? It's kind of unexpected. It totally reminds me of like Hawaii vibes. Very tropical for sure. The flowers provide a nice level of decor, but not really overpowering or anything like that. And I think it looks really cute for Christmas. What do you guys think about this one? Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment and let you know that I've introduced memberships on my channel. For $4.99 a month, you can support me here at Crafty Beach. You're going to get early ad-free access to my videos and a few other perks as well, like shout outs. And I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the following Crafty Beach Moms: Karen O'Haron, Coastal Couple, Pamela Bergeron, I Am Mojo Jojo, Mary Banks, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Stacy Hall, Sandra Ray, Carrie R., Tracy Knight, and Verna Noctegal. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I appreciate you so much. And now it's time for the final reveal. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment your favorite DIY below. And don't forget to subscribe. We're almost to 20,000 subscribers.
Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand, you and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset, it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand, you and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Here we go. All right. Now this time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song.